Summertime is frustrating on one level because clothing sales gets a little bit depressed, the famous summertime slump. I think it's real. I think it is slightly over-exaggerated sometimes. There are definitely ways around it. One of the ways around it is to know what sells in the summertime. The nice thing about summertime is that it is relatively extremely predictable. Seasonality generally is, but summertime, it is as simple as it gets. It's clothing that you wear when it is hot out. Go figure. There is no really truly accurate way to predict what the market is going to do, but in my experience, these are the categories that sell the best during the summer. Note number one is linen. Linen clothing will get a huge boost in sell-through as the weather warms up. It is what all of the men's fashion vloggers endorse. It aesthetically is about as nice as you can get without sweltering in some kind of a dress shirt or wearing wool clothing. And it's popular with all kinds of homies, all kinds of guys for all kinds of reasons. And it's really popular right now with kids in their 20s, he says patronizingly. People in their early 20s, late teens are wearing linen because now it is considered part of the old money aesthetic, which is really popular, which means you just dress like a rich guy, like a yachty type guy. That's a good rule of thumb, is yachty type clothing in the summer is going to be popular with that set of people. Most of them, though, I would guess, are going to buy retail at H&M and Express and Uniqlo and whatever. That is a good note. Those brands in 100% linen during the summer typically is worth picking up. That's one of the only circumstances where fast fashion brands generally work for resale. 100% linen. Linen blend is less desirable. It confers a little bit of value above and beyond just standard cotton or polyester or nylon clothing, but 100% linen is really what you're after. If you find 100% linen in undesirable brands, especially if it's in a bigger size or there's some kind of novelty, like there's a print on it, or if it's white, that's another great note, is 100% linen white clothing is probably, I would guess, going to be the best selling, although it is also the most difficult to find in pre-owned condition and good condition. And maybe you are a wizard with getting stains out. I'm not great on that front. I have a feeling that bleaching linen probably doesn't really work. Maybe you can dilute the bleach. I don't really know. There are people in the comments who know how to pull that off much better than I would. The majority of white clothing, pure white clothing that you find used will have stains on it. Really, the reality is the majority of clothing has little stains on it, but you don't see it. It's not visible because it gets occluded by the pattern and the color of the fabric. White, it pops right out. And it's a big deal because it's much more noticeable, and it undermines the clean, crisp aesthetic that people are going for when they wear white clothing. So if you can find it in pristine condition, get it. Those bad brands will still work. J. Crew, Brooks Brothers, kind of the mid-tier or higher-end mall brands are especially good. Suit Supply, Everlane, Varvatos, these kinds of slightly nicer brands, 100% linen, probably a slam dunk. Bonobos is another good one, just off the top of my head. If you find 100% linen, look it up. Baird McNutt, 100% linen in a lot of these brands is good. Linen bottoms do really well, especially long pants. I talked about this in a previous video, double checked it. The numbers are already really strong. Almost 100% sell through just for linen pants in the pants category as a big inclusive bucket, pre-owned condition, regardless of brand. And a good brand, they're going to be great sellers. They're just not that common, and they tend to be more expensive, and the demand is already high. 100% linen, period, is doing already pretty good. It was like 60-ish% sell-through. 100% linen shorts should also do well. Let me just double check those numbers. 100% linen shorts are also really healthy. Regardless of brand, the sell-through is high. I would say around 85% sell-through just for 100% linen shorts. And the numbers are surprisingly low in terms of active and solds. There are only 745 active listings for 100% linen shorts in the shorts category in pre-owned condition right now. That's not a ton. So I think 100% linen bottoms are going to be pretty safe money. Brings us into our next category, which is shorts. This is obvious. Shorts sell better in summer than in other times of year. It breaks down to brand, really. It's hard to give really general recommendations for shorts because it does depend upon brand and aesthetic and fabric. Sweat shorts have been popular. Sweat shorts will probably be popular during the summer. Sell-through is healthy at the moment. Also, men's style vloggers are advocating for nylon shorts, 100% nylon shorts. They're really lightweight shorts. Sell-through on nylon shorts is healthy also. Big overlap between shorts and swimwear, which is the next category. Another one that you probably are not shocked to see on this list. I probably can't tell you a whole lot about it that you don't already know or can't intuit. It's a giant category. It is brand dependent. It is aesthetic dependent. A lot of it is worth nothing. I would say actually most of it is worth essentially nothing. I will speak from experience. Board shorts are a little more desirable than swim trunks. The rough litmus that I have in my head is that swim shorts, whatever the shorts that have the mesh underwear in them tend to be worth a little bit less in my experience than the shorts without it. That is a very, very sloppy, rough rule of thumb. Don't put too much stock in it. That's just my instinct. I will say, if you find hybrid shorts, those were always the best sellers for me. Those were the ones that would always be in the highest demand and going for the most money. But hybrid shorts and brands that otherwise are not that spectacular, like O'Neill and Vans, they have lines of hybrid shorts, and the name of the hybrid shorts will be inside the waistband that you can look up, and the sell-through will be way higher than the brand generally, and it'll be worth more money. The Vanphibians in Vans are the thing that fulfills this in my memory. And what's the one? The Hyper Freaks in O'Neill, something like that. Just if you find hybrid shorts are shorts that you can wear walking around and that you can also swim in. That's what it means. So be on the lookout for hybrid shorts. And if you find shorts that just feel nice, feel higher quality, look them up. Fishing clothing. I have flogged this horse unto death on this channel. Fishing clothing is still, to my mind, probably one of the most undertapped niches for used men's clothing resale. I think I had such an intense focus on it for a couple reasons. One, I fish, and two, I lived in San Diego where it was relatively common to find. But during spring and summer, you pretty much can't beat it if you find the right thing and the right brand. Generally, what is popular is cargo shorts for ocean fishermen and also long, lightweight hoodie shirts, UV sun shirts made of performance fabric with a hood for sun protection. I would say those are the two most consistent sellers. Also, the traditional fishing shirt that I've described before, which is typically made of a lightweight nylon or nylon blend. It is mesh vented. It's caped on the back, which means it has that panel that opens up and is mesh underneath. Has roll tab sleeves. That's where you can roll it up and button it, and we'll have big cargo pockets on the front. Usually this is Columbia PFG. Columbia PFG is not as big of a slam dunk as it used to be. There are still opportunities there. But if you can spot that design schema on a shirt, even if it is not manufactured specifically for the purpose of being a fishing shirt, you can market it as such. You can list it as such with fishing keywords in the title. Fishing, fly fishing, those are really the two. Bigger sizes do better. Pastel colors tend to do really well. Novelty prints do really well. The best fishing brands in my memory are Simms, Huck, or it might be pronounced Hook, I'm not sure. Pelagic Free Fly, which makes bamboo clothing for fly fishermen. And there are more. There are tons more in the Menswear Manifesto, if you're curious. The Menswear Manifesto is 401 men's clothing brands broken down category by category. I talk about seasonality in it. If you want brand tips for any one of these categories, you will find them there. It is a donation-based product, so look at it, decide how much you think it will be worth to you, and give me that. You are able to download it for free if you choose to do so. Link is in the description. Unstructured blazers are a great item to know. It's another one of those things that all the fashion vloggers and bloggers tell you you must have, at risk of being an unfashionable man, a fate worse than death. An unstructured blazer is a blazer or sport coat that does not have paneling inside of it. It does not have shoulder pads. It's cut and lays like a shirt. If you can find unstructured blazers in 100% linen, those are probably the best case scenario. But any unstructured blazer generally should do relatively well. Sell-through is strong right now, close to 100% already. Brand matters, fabric matters. Seersucker fabric kind of ties in with the blazer thing. Seersucker is ruffled, striped cotton fabric that is lightweight and usually in alternating white and pastel colors. This is a very old style of fabric. It's really yachty. It's considered old money again. And if you find seersucker vintage stuff from the right brands, like Brooks Brothers, and I think Hugo Boss, that stuff, especially Brooks Brothers, can be worth a ton. Seersucker generally in brands, even middle of the road brands like LL Bean, or the fast fashion brands, stuff like Bonobos, J. Crew, in the summer, the sell-through will go way up. Not guaranteed money, but it's going to be the best time of year to sell seersucker. And that goes for women as well, in my experience. Hawaiian shirts, go figure, the sell-through is best. During the summer, this can be a rough niche because there's so many brands that are bad on this front. Even the cherished Tommy Bahama can be a hit or miss proposition. Don't be too seduced by Tommy Bahama, or certainly don't pay up too much for it unless it's something special. You're looking for the special stuff. You're looking for vintage. You're looking for crazy patterns. You're looking for boutique brands, the right brands. Also, oversized Hawaiian shirts. Like if you find a 4XL, 5XL Tommy Bahama, especially if it's 100% silk, probably going to be an okay flipper. Rain Spooner tends to be good. Jam's World is good. Vintage Hawaiian shirts tend to do a little bit better. Just be careful. I would stay away from stuff like Tasso Elba, just generally assy brands that happen to be Hawaiian. There is an opportunity here, I have found, with the fast fashion brands. I keep invoking Bonobos for some reason, but I have had crazy good luck selling printed Hawaiian Bonobos shirts, especially for some reason pineapple print. Kind of Hawaiian shirts, also called camp shirts. It's kind of like a square rectangle thing, like not all camp shirts are Hawaiian shirts, but all Hawaiian shirts are camp shirts. They are roughly synonymous. Hawaiian and camp shirts that are graphic, that are atypical Hawaiian graphics, as in not luau scenes and palm trees and flowers, there tends to be a shot there. And finally, just golf brands, period, are going to continue to be good. Spring, summer is the best time of year for the majority of golf clothing because that's when people do their golfing. There are a ton of golf brands and there's a ton of golf lines and non-specifically golf brands like Nike, Adidas, stuff like that, that are going to do really well. There's a ton of them in the manifesto if you want to check them out. But as a general note, if you find golf clothing, big sizes, performance fabric, desirable brand, novelty prints, again, loud patterns, loud designs, Hawaiian type aesthetics, or cornball pop culture graphics, anything like that that looks really eye-catching and weird, should do really well. One brand that is notorious on this front, I don't know if that's the right word, but notable, is Loudmouth. There are a lot of golf brands that kind of ape the Loudmouth aesthetic. It's all over psychedelic prints and stuff. That kind of stuff, you can flip it 40, 50 bucks pre-owned condition. If the brand is right, and the sell-through should be pretty hot going into summer. And this is the time of the year to sell the more bread and buttery golf brands like TravisMathew. This is mostly gonna be polo shirts and shorts. That's the majority of golf clothing. Long golf pants, just like linen pants, tend to be worth a little bit more money. Be careful with your buy cost on something like a TravisMathew polo shirt, especially if it's not a bigger size, because the market tends to be flooded. Don't be scared off if you find polo shirts, golf polo shirts, that have resorts and especially golf courses embroidered on the sleeves, their emblems. The right golf course actually can improve the sell-through and the value of a piece. I think a ton of buyers aren't really going to care that much. They just want the shirt that's in their size and aesthetic for a good deal. The same does not go for corporate logos, company logos, freebie shirts, unless the brand is crazy, unless it's something like, I don't know, I found a Patagonia down puffer vest that had a big fat corporate logo right here for some no-name company I didn't even recognize. Flip like that because of what it was. You can still sell that stuff. Let's say you found a Scotty Cameron polo shirt that had a Cox Cable logo on it. I would still pick that up and sell it because Scotty Cameron polo shirts sell themselves. That's another great brand to know. Otherwise, avoid it. If you find, again, like an Adidas golf shirt, those aren't going to be worth that much anyway, especially if it has some company thing on it. Skip it. These are very general recommendations. This is what has worked for me in the past. This seems to be what works for most people. Summer is relatively predictable, and as with everything, there are always exceptions. So look before you leap. Sorry we were indoors today. My neighbor was playing copyrighted music very loud. So I will see you on the next one. Good luck.